So for about, 18 months, 2 years, the Irish attack has destroyed teams. And what we had heard as part of that analysis was they've so many options the way they set up that it's very hard to defend against them, and that's why they continually cut through teams. I just wonder, Ireland have been the hunted now for a couple of years. Teams are analysing the tape at length. They're going to start seeing certain patterns and certain areas where they can get at Ireland. Twickenham, Scotland today look comfortable. Would there be a quiet conversation, do you think, in the Irish coaching ticket? Are we starting to be figured out just a little bit in attack?
Well, that's the way rugby ebbs and flows. You bring something new onto the scene, you have success with it. Yeah. Everybody sees what they struggle to deal with for a while. Then they analyse you, they get to grips with it, but your job then is to move on to the next thing.
And do you agree that we might be at them getting to grips with it phase?
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't read too much into the last few games either. You know, there was a unique set of circumstances in England, in Twickenham against England, and a unique set of circumstances here. You'll have to analyse what they're doing anyway. You know, I think there was space in the backfield that wasn't exploited today. Their carries weren't as maybe intense as they might want to be. The options look to be there. You know, you just take the better option. You know, it's maybe some of the more conservative option a little bit. So, you know, there is development of the game plan. And listen, Andy Farrell has shown, and these coaches have shown, they're not sitting on their laurels. The way they've developed in the time since Andy took over, after sort of a fallow period at the start, it's been really enormous. And Ireland, I honestly think, when Ireland played their best rugby over that time, they played the best rugby of anybody.
Yes, I mean, it's not even necessarily a criticism of Ireland. It's, as you said, a natural ebb and flow of rugby. I'm curious, the rest of the panel, your sense, do you think other teams are starting to get more comfortable with what Ireland are doing in attack?
No, I don't think so. Sorry, Matty. I don't think so. The beauty of Ireland's blueprint and how they play rugby in terms of their attacking is they have all of those options at the line every time. I don't think we've seen Ireland play particularly well the Six Nations in terms of where they can truly get to. So I don't think that other teams have found this out. I just don't think our level of performances has been what we're capable of at this year's competition.
It's encouraging that they showed a lot of flexibility. Like we were potentially a little bit more predictable, a little bit more one-dimensional. Granted, that kind of shape and phase play was really effective for long periods, but the second half, granted, we went back to a more basic game plan, but the difficulty with that, or the bit that we're disappointed with, is the first half they didn't react. They didn't go more direct. They didn't find space in the backfield, Matty, to your point. But in the second half, they completely changed the way they were playing, and they took the onus and they took energy and just went direct. The problem with that is, and we're talking about the Springboks tour, you can't really do that against the Springboks. So you're going to have to be a bit more creative. But they've showed, I think they've got another gear. It's not that flamboyant, but at least it's something they can go to plan B.
And Andrew's right. And in the discussion we're having, let's remember the negative is always easier than the positive. Defence is much, much easier than attack. Attack is creating space, and defence is taking away space. And look, let's give the Scots credit. They did 200 plus tackles tonight. Their percentage of missed tackles was extremely low. England's defence last week was very good. Now, when you get to the high belt in June, you're in a different league again. So, like every team, if you don't grow and evolve, and in all elite sport, if you don't evolve, you're going backwards. So this team can't say, well, we've got a great attacking system, we're standing here. They've got to grow it, they've got to change, they've got to move it. And they've got a new 10. He's a young guy, as Robert said. They need to get him and say, well, what's his talent? Now, I think Jack's talent is running and being square himself. I think they can progress him in that attacking system. So there's a lot of things they can do.
And the positive here is you're evolving from a winning position.
Yes.
Now, yeah. I think it's almost the best position. So they've won. They know that actually they need to evolve their game a little bit, and maybe, you know, they're being analysed and people are aware of the type of play that Ireland are playing. So, but what a position to do it from.
Yeah.
And they will develop that while keeping everybody happy, and while lifting trophies, while running around here with medals around their necks. You know, it's almost the perfect circumstances, because I don't think they'll rest on their laurels. I don't think they can. It's not the type of man Andy Farrell is. The backroom coaches, it's not. They'll look to evolve. And I actually think it's brilliant that they've a South African tour coming up, because they will know. Yeah. They go, you know, with all due respect, maybe even somewhere like, you know, Japan or Argentina. They go there. Actually, we don't have to really do that much, and we get over the line. If they don't evolve and they don't bring their best game against South Africa, they will be in big trouble.
Yes.
And I think the template we can talk about is New Zealand, when they dominated for all those years, because they played a great ball in hand game as well. You know, from Carter through to Barrett, Richie Mo'unga. You know, they had talented players, but their game didn't stand still, and they kept winning. And you're never going to win every game in international rugby. That's the game we're in. But if they follow that template, then the team can keep growing.